Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Lisa Murray, and I am one part of the Queensland Australia stockist team. We have a family team, just so everyone knows. You can hear the kookaburras in the background. You know you've won from Australia right now. And yeah, so basically I'm the front part of the team. And we also have my mum and dad involved, and they do all the checking of the stock and the wrapping of the stock. My brother does all the dispatch and customer inquiries, and my sister does all the behind the scenes admin. So we have quite a good little team going, and we try to make that very efficient for you all. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put this onto speaker for a moment. So I thought how we might run this today is I'll go through just the basics of how to order from us and generally a few things about ordering. And then if you've got questions, let's keep them till the end, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you've got at that point. Okay, so is that good for everybody? Yep. And Andrea, though, maybe Andrea, if you've got questions you think I haven't covered something in the moment, maybe you interrupt, but I just don't want a lot of people interrupting because we end up on sidetracks. So that would be a good way to do it. So let's go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you. We have a, here it is. We have a demo account which head office gave us, which is really good. So this isn't any person's account, it's a demo account. And you should be able to see that in a second. Yeah? Can you see my account here?
Yes, and we usually only have 4 in Canada, so there's a little bit extra in that one.
Down the bottom. Yes. Okay. So a couple of things I just want everyone to note. When you log in, before you make an order, always check your maintenance. Okay. Now this one's a demo account. We don't use it for anything except training, so it doesn't need to have its maintenance paid. But this is where you see your maintenance. Your maintenance is $30 a month. And if you're building a business, okay, if you're not building a business, doesn't matter. But if you're building a business, you need to have your maintenance paid. And to pay your maintenance, you go to navigate and you go to maintenance. You put in your username, okay, and okay, it's not going to let me do it because, okay, let me put in another one of mine. Whoops. I just want to show you the next step of it just quickly because I think it's good to know all the things. Okay, it's not going to let me. Okay, that's useful, isn't it? Demo account that doesn't do everything. So basically, though, you put the username of the person you want to pay maintenance for in there, and then you click into it and you put the amount of maintenance, whether it's 1 month, 3 months, or whatever. So always check that first. Okay. Now, do people know how to do payments, or do you want me to briefly talk about payments from an Australian point of view or not?
Yes, that'd be great.
Yes. Okay. So a couple of things. If you go into navigate down the bottom of your page and then top up, this link that you see, I'm just going to put that maybe somewhere there. This link here that I'm just highlighting, and yours will have privevip.com, it won't have the demo, okay? That link is your top-up link. Now, I would recommend, if you can, use the top-up link because it's a simpler process. Basically, you go top-up, then you get the person to pay, then you go register, and then it's pretty much done. If you choose to pay us directly, it's a much more manual process, okay? And you don't pay us, and when I say pay us directly, you pay us directly so we can give you a PIN. So there's 2 ways you can sign anybody up in this system. The first one is just by registering, which is basically pay the top up and then register. And then the second one is by register with PIN. And that basically what register with PIN does, it gives you a ticket to buy a product, right? And so if you pay in some other way, and this will be the same for all stockists, if you pay in some other way, they have to allocate you a PIN. And that's the way of it, our way of telling the system, okay, you've paid your money and here you go, you can now redeem that PIN. Okay, so that's the 2 ways that this works. Now, So as far as payment, so this is the easiest way, okay? If you just go straight in here, it will be in US dollars for most people. But if you're having trouble and it's not paying or something's not working, just check your amount here because, for example, accounts that were originally made in Singapore are in Singapore dollars. So there's always these little funny twists that you just discover along the way. But for most people, you'll be in US dollars. And so you simply type your amount in, and I'm going to actuals. So in Australia, a classic is $420. Okay, so type your amount in. The member username always comes up automatically. So from the link of the person who sent it to you, and remark, and we're just going to do test. Okay, in remark, you would normally write the person's name and username if you have it at this point, okay? Whatever you put in remark or whatever the person puts in remark is what you can see in your back end, okay? You confirm submit. Now, I want to give you a little tip on this whole situation where it goes through to PayPal, okay? Now, it will give you the option of going through. Now, this if you as the person putting the money through, if it's your PayPal and your credit card, then you can do it through that if you want to. The other option is you pick down here, you say pay with a card. And so when you pay with a card, it should then allow you to put all your information in. And what you want to do down the very bottom here, once you've done that, save information and create your PayPal account. You don't want to tick that because you don't need a PayPal account every time you put a payment through, right? Now, so you can just make sure that's not ticked. Now, there is another option. If it's automatically, like if I'd done this on my computer, it would have taken in and said, oh, here you are, you can pay in your PayPal. And so there's a tiny little thing that comes up where you could either do it in an incognito window, which will stop that coming up, or you can, there's a tiny little thing you can tick which says don't use this account, and then it'll take you to pay with a card. So that's the PayPal side. Now we also, as a stockist, now can you see the new window? I'm just checking that it's all working out with the kangaroo.
Yes.
Good. Okay, so if you go to thzwellbeing.com/payments, so this is our website now, our stockist website, and we have got for you, if you want to pay in Australian dollars, if you have someone who wants to pay in Australian dollars, or they want to pay in some, they want to pay not via PayPal, basically, because some people have an aversion to PayPal, which we all understand. So, oops, hold on, that did not go where it was supposed to. Let me just go back there. So we have lots of different ways you can pay if you prefer. So you can just look into those, and each one has the instructions. So if you pay direct to our bank account, you must email us with the information, the user ID and the name of the person, where the PIN is to go. Because if you don't email us, we've just got money that we don't know who it's from, where we're supposed to allocate the PIN. And, being a detective sometimes is quite tricky. So I just really ask that whichever way you pay, just please follow those payment instructions, because it will make everybody's life much easier. And of course, you will get things faster as well, okay? Now, we also offer direct to stockist payment links, because then you don't have the PayPal 4.5% fees. There's still a credit card fee, but it's not as much. And you'll see the different amounts in Australian and US. Okay, and we also have on this page, if you're paying for bonus redemption products, you don't pay for the products, but you do pay some shipping. I think those shipping charges are going to have a review shortly, actually, as well. So that's the payments, okay, in terms of the basics of how you do a payment. So now let's go back and get rid of that. We're going to go into here. So say you've done your payment. The way to check your payment is if you've done it just by the top up link and the register process. If you go down here, you'll see your register wallet. That money will appear in the sponsor's register wallet if you've done it via the register process. If you've done it via the PIN, it will not appear on here at all, just to make things completely confusing, right? And so what happens is when you've done it by PIN, I'll go into that when we do the PIN process, because I want to do the register process first. So basically what you'll have here is, your money. Now, if you've got multiple people paying you, if you go into details, you will see information on what's actually gone on there, right? So they've given us the $10,000 in this as a training account. So you'll actually see, and you'll see remarks here. So that remark you made when you use the top-up link, that's where it will land in there. Okay, does that all make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good. All right, so then once you've got your money in your register wallet, the sponsor, and this is for the sponsor, right? The person who's signing up does not do this. You would never put someone through this. They would never get their wand, basically, in the beginning. But in the very beginning, you do it as the sponsor, okay? And so you select your region. Now, for Australia is the first thing. We are the Queensland stockist. So you will choose Queensland there. Next step. Now, just to be clear for Australia, there's 2 stockists. Both of us can send anywhere in Australia, okay? And also, to be clear, because I know some people don't realise, New Zealand is not part of Australia. Not everyone realises that. Overseas, we all know, but not everyone overseas does. So New Zealand you have to choose them as a country, and they've got 1 stockist at the moment. All right, so once you're in here, okay, so just say you're getting a classic, you just want to click on that, add to cart, okay? And then you'll scroll down a little bit and you'll see here that you've got this possibility for how many you want. So if you are doing a silver one, you're just going to have 1. But if, for example, you were doing a gold and they wanted 3 classics as for their gold level account, you would choose 3, and so on, okay? Now, I believe the system is now set up for multiple things. So you could also say you wanted gold, but you wanted 3 different things. You could add a 7 Wonders, and you could add an Ion Shield, and you'd have 1 of each, and that would be your gold level, for example. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it is a bit complex, and yet it's not in some ways, all right? If you make a mistake, you can just X them out. So you've got what you want to order there. So then you've got your payment information here, and that pretty much auto-populates, and you'll see in the register wallet there's $420, okay? So that's actually saying, okay, you've put $420 in there. So that's what you do with that. So then you'll put a member username in there, and I'm just going to call this one Test Lisa. Actually, hold on. I don't know. Now, we always put the member username in capitals because it is case sensitive, and it's hard enough if people can't remember their username, let alone when it's a mixture of lowercase and uppercase. So much, and I think the one thing you can't change in the system is your member username, okay? So we always do capitals, and I tend to say to people, don't use your own name. In hindsight, I would not have used my own name, mostly because A, you'll probably end up with multiple accounts. 2, not everyone builds a business. And so for the people who don't build a business, and this is an advanced strategy, there's other things you can do with those accounts, but we don't want to go into that today. That really is a separate video, I think. Otherwise, people will just be like, what are you talking about? So, so basically then you put the person's name, who's receiving the wand. So this is the person's name, who's like username, who they're receiving. Now it's got to remember the name of this account because I haven't really played with it very much. Here we go. So HB10. So sponsor, okay. And then you press show for your placement. Now, I don't know if it's going to give me that. I hope it is, but maybe it's not. We'll see. We'll just give it a moment. Not quite sure how far the demo account goes, but normally you press this show button and it will then allow you here. I wonder if actually, I just try something, if it will show one of my other accounts. Not really giving me that, which is rather unfortunate because I did want to talk a little bit about placement. But basically with placement, your first person goes on the left. You can't help that, they have to. Your second person goes on the top right. And then your third and all other people either go on the left of your left or the left of your right. Don't be tempted to fill in the gaps, okay? Because it does not work. It means you won't get paid for everything you should get paid for if you try and fill in all the gaps. So I don't know why this demo account doesn't show me a placement, maybe because they don't want things placed in the system. So maybe we're not going to be able to do this part today. But basically then what should happen here, where it says upline placement position, once you've placed your person, except for that one person that you put on your top right, it should always say left. This is your little double check to make sure that you've got someone in the right place. Because even if it's the left of the right, it's still a left placement. Okay. So always just do a quick check, except for that one person who's on your top right, because it should say left. And then you put in the email of the person whose account you're setting up. Okay. Now, some people, because the system sometimes sends an email to that person saying, here's your account, change your details. And some people are super fast and they change them before the sponsor has had time to actually do the order. Some people put their own email in there, so people never get the system email. Not a bad idea. So it's up to you what you want to choose with that. Okay, so then we go down here and maybe I'll just put an email in here. I don't know if it's going to let me go the whole way through, so we're just going to have to see. So then you get to delivery. So courier or self-collect. Courier is basically everything that is not local to us. Now, we live on the Sunshine Coast, which is about 2 hours north of Brisbane. So basically, if the person wants to drive up and collect, then they can, or, you know, if they live locally, they can, but we need to arrange a time for that. They can't just rock on up. And it needs to be one day after you've placed the order. Okay. If it's self-collect, basically all of our address details and things will come up in here automatically, because it's basically saying this is where you're getting the wand from. We're not posting it anywhere. If it's by courier, you need to fill in all of this information. So I'm just going to quickly just do something that see if it'll let us go further. I think I know what that. Okay. Actually, we don't need that. There you go. So I've just filled that in, and then you do a pass. Now, okay. So here's the thing with security passwords. If you're in your account, it's your security password. If you're in someone else's account, it's theirs. Because sometimes it's like, well, which security password? Because you feel like you're going between your information and the other person's information. It's always yours if it's in your account, okay? And then you press submit. So then it will ask you, are you sure? And you check all of that. You go, yes, I'm sure. Okay, confirm. Okay, so once you've confirmed that, best thing to do, so what it should do at that point, oh, hold on, whoops, I've lost myself. Where did you go? What it should do at that point is it should actually bring up a screen, and obviously the demo account does not do that, that says, you know, new account created and, you know, set the new password. And so then you want to log out of this account, log into that account, reset their passwords, okay? And then what you can do is go into product order report. So navigate product order report, and then you will see their delivery order number, okay, once you're in their account, okay, because normally their delivery order number goes to their account. So if you want to be able to get that DO number, you want to actually go into their account and it will be in there, okay? And that's what I think is a good check. Like, I know in the US, you don't log into the people's accounts, whereas here we do largely need to. And Ricky's kind of like saying, well, you know, you shouldn't have to do that. And I agree, but Australia does work a bit differently. I have no idea why we work differently, but we do. And if for some people, if they want to make sure that the order has been placed, then that's it. Now, from our point of view as a stockist, once you've got a delivery order number and you've checked that you're like that, that's your proof that your order's gone through, we don't need any more information. Okay. We don't need you to email us. We don't need anything more. If you have special instructions, then of course email us. And our email for all that kind of thing is thzwellbeingstockist@, proton, proton.me. And I'll put that in the video. I might go back and do a couple of little edits in the video. But literally, we do not require any emails, any follow-ups, because we have a really clear system. From our point of view, we get an order and we send out next business day as long as we've got stock. Okay, as simple as that. Next business day. And how long it takes to arrive depends on where they are in Australia, you know, because Australia is a big country and not everything arrives, you know, in a day or less. So just be a little bit patient. We will, normally you will get an email from either Australia Post or Sendle, depending on who we've used for your shipping, and they should give you a tracking number. Now, we have noticed they're not always doing that, which is very unfortunate, because it would be very helpful for everyone to have those tracking numbers. So if you can't find a tracking number, they haven't emailed you, and please, you've got to give it about 48 hours, okay, to get it in the system and actually get it somewhere. And we do know sometimes the tracking numbers arrive after the goods are delivered. There's not much we can control about that, okay? But generally speaking, if you're worried that something's gone amiss, please know that we can't check with the company until after their expected delivery date. Like, they won't respond to us unless it's after their expected delivery date. So just be aware of that, because sometimes people get anxious. And I understand, you know, you're ordering something and it's a lot of money, but once we've sent it, we don't have control until that time when there is actually more information in the system. Okay, so that's register. That's the simplicity of register, okay? There's nothing else you need to do. Now, if you pay us directly, and so the other thing is you can purchase PIN within the system as well, but I don't see the point of that. You're much better off to just do register because it's simpler, okay? So for most people, I don't recommend you use purchase PIN, because if you pay us directly, you have already purchased the PIN, okay? So you don't need to go in here and do it twice. So then you go to register using PIN. Again, Australia. Your country join is where you are joined up. Now, occasionally you'll be joined up. So they treat Queensland and New South Wales as different countries from a country join point of view, which is very annoying. So if you're going to upgrade an account, for example, you may need to ask Joanna to transfer the country join to Queensland or wherever it is you want to actually do your upgrade. Okay, it's just one of those very annoying things. I don't know, because we've got no pins, so I don't think it's going to let me do this, which is really annoying. I didn't actually realize she hadn't put any pins in here. So the thing is, normally you will choose your country join, like it should come up, or it should come up. Stockist ID for Queensland for us is QLD 01. We'll try product not yet redeemed. So normally you will have to click here, and your pin, if you have product collected, your pin won't show. You'll have to click on it and go product not yet redeemed, and then your pin balance should show. Okay, and again, know that it's a manual process for us to allocate you a pin. So please actually make sure once you've emailed that we've got time to actually do that, and be aware of time differences if you're in the States or the UK or something, because we don't work 24/7, you know. Yeah, so then your pin balance will show here, and you'll be able to go to your next step. And see, it's not letting me go further, which is very annoying. So, but basically what will happen is you'll go through the same register process that we just did, except you'll add your pin in there. Now, with the pin though, you also may need to go and do the pin promotion redemption. Okay, now because we haven't got anything in the system that's not found, I will see if Joanna will add a pin in there for me so that I can actually do a training on the pin for you. Didn't actually realize it wasn't in here. But normally you have to do a second step with pins, but I'll do that training for you separately and upload it. So we'll upload these trainings onto this page on our website. So on this page, which is thzwellbeing.com/ordering, we have order instructions. Oh, and actually we need to take the holiday offer down because it's finished now. So basically we, you know, this is your ordering instructions, and what I've just talked about, it's all written here, okay? Bit by bit by bit. So you can always go and have a look at that if you're not sure, and it gives you the register with PIN information as well. And, you know, some people like videos, some people are happy just to look at it, each one, you know, really simply in terms of how it works. So both of those are there. I will say, if you can't get your order through, please ask your sponsor first of all, because we are one stockist, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people ordering. And much as we love to help you, sometimes, you know, that means Scott's working 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. And that's not really fair on anyone. And most of that work is work that the sponsors should be doing. Okay, so we're just asking that you would please, please, please ask your sponsor, because we have put a lot of info here for you. Now, a couple of other things I just want to talk about before we go to Q&A. On our homepage, we have a regular stock update. Now, I haven't done this one for a few days, but I am going to do it again today. So anytime there's major shifts in the amount of stock that we have available, we put it here. We also put it in our Telegram channel. And you can find that, the Telegram channel, on our website. So always the basic information is here. And, you know, any other information, for example, holiday season, etc. So if you go to our website, you will find 99.999% of the information you need. Okay. And we're always happy to answer questions, but we truly deeply appreciate people who go and have a look first, you know, because it's a lot of the same things over and over. Yeah, so there you go. And our stockist ID is, you know, nice and big and bold on here so that you can always find that as well. All right, I'm going to stop the share, and then if anyone has any questions, you can go for it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. I know for me, I've written 6 sales for Australia, and 3 of them I've goofed them up. And I already see the error that I made, and you guys helped fix it, so thank you. But logging into their back office once you create them, and then selecting the PIN type, not yet redeemed, that's where something happened. I clicked on that and then nothing processed after that, and that's why everything kind of got stuck. So thank you for showing that.
Cool. Yeah. Look, I would say to you, there's always a simple solution. Like one day soon, when we get some spare time, I'll actually like do the most common mistakes and what to look for, because there's actually, once you start to know the system, there's probably 3 or 4 places you can look that are always going to give you the information of what it is you haven't done, or, you know, where that thing disappeared to. And what I do know is, if you can't find it in your account, try in the client account, because it doesn't seem to be consistent as to what lands in your account and what lands in the client account. And so my go-to is always check both accounts, particularly for PINs, because the PIN system seems to have a little mind of its own in some ways. And so, yeah. But and sometimes it's the simplest thing, you know, and it's frustrating when we can't find it because we don't know the system. But the more you use the system, the more you'll get to know that. So, yeah.
And thank you, because when we're doing US orders or Canada orders, we don't have to log into anyone else's back office.
I know.
So this was the learning curve, and we needed to see this. So thank you.
Yeah. And when you do log into someone else's back office, it will ask you to change their password and security password, and you won't be able to go any further till you do that. So I always send people an email that has their username, their password, their security password that I've changed. And I just have a system for how I, you know, do those. So I've got ones that I circle through basically. And then I give them their top-up link, and I give them their delivery order number. And of course I give them the system like the Price VIP link, so that they have the basic information for getting into their account. And in our case, actually, also we send them a link to our portal. We have a training portal at thzwellbeings.com/portal, and anyone can join that. And we do have lots of training for the rest of the world and things in there as well, and a lot more detail in the training. So anyone can join that. We make that open to everyone, because we started off before we were stockists, it was for our team, but once we became a stocker, we saw that, well, really everyone needs it, so let's just make it open. So that's what we've done. And there's conversation there as well that's not on Facebook for the people who prefer not to be on Facebook. So yeah, there you go. Good.
Perfect.
Okay, has anyone else got any questions?
Let's see.
Did it all make sense?
Yeah. And that's a quiet bunch.
Yeah.
No more questions in the group chat. Okay. Thank you so much for doing this. I know it was a quick, let's get this in there, but I think it's a good visual for a lot of people who haven't even written a sale yet, that they would need to see this because they want to sell. So thank you so much, Lisa.
Yeah, that's my pleasure. So we will upload this on the ordering page. Okay. I'll just edit out all the chit chat and yeah, so I'll upload it on the ordering page, and then yeah, everyone can see the replay there, basically.
Wonderful. Yeah. Thank you.
My pleasure. Well, you guys are doing a great job, so enjoy.
Awesome. And Merry Christmas.
Yes, you too. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.